Hey everybody, and welcome back to the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. My name is Scott. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. If this is your first time here and you're looking for reviews of different whiskeys such as bourbons, ryes, American style whiskeys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also make sure you hit the bell notification. That's going to alert you to when I'm doing new uploads and live streams. Let's go ahead and get into the review. So today I'm doing a review from White Dog Distilling Company out of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Two expressions. Starting first from left to right is their standard, basically corn whiskey. This is a mash bill of 85% corn and 15% 6-row malted barley. Now that same mash bill will translate into also what they call their puppy bourbon. But what I wanted to first kind of start out doing was just at least identifying the corn whiskey or their base product that translates again into their what they call the puppy bourbon. So why don't we do the review first of the puppy bourbon, and we'll kind of go from there. So essentially, again, what this is their puppy bourbon. 85% again flaked corn, 15% 6-row malted barley. Proof on this, the puppy bourbon, is 104 proof or 52% ABV. Non-age stated. However, they did indicate that it's aged for a minimum of 5 months. MSRP on both of them actually is right in that $28 price point. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and we'll kind of get into the review. So typically what I try to do is with most of my reviews, we'll go through the appearance, we'll go through the color, the nosing, the palate, the finish, things along those lines. So why don't we go ahead and we'll kind of get into it here. So as you can see, this has got a really, really nice mahogany type of color. So it's actually been aged in 5-gallon barrel. So it's putting a lot of contact of the liquid onto the barrel. It's a heavy char number 4. So it is kind of heavy, aging it fairly quickly. So it's given it a really, really nice mahogany type of color. So let's get into the nose. So right away you're getting a little bit of that kind of, graininess that wants to come through just because of the youth that's there. Some nice oak. A little bit of ethanol, with it being higher proof, 104 proof, you're bound to get a little bit of alcohol on the nose. Actually a bit of a chocolate type of note to it as well. Some burnt sugars. Definitely some cinnamon is really starting to kind of come through. It's kind of that red hot type of cinnamon. Even a bit of a cherry note to it, kind of a dark fruit type of note. So yeah, really, really nice kind of interesting nose to that. Some different elements there. Yeah, let's give this a try. Cheers. So what I try to do is, rather than give any thoughts or impressions on what the flavor profile is of something, you want to try to get your palate coated a little bit, and it's just not enough by doing it one time. You got to get into 2 or 3 times of taking a couple sips just to allow for, your mouth to be, properly coated so you can really start to get those flavors. So right away, you get a little bit of that heat. That oak presence is there. That cherry note is still wanting to kind of come through. Kind of an interesting balance of the oak and cherry there. A little bit leathery kind of on the palate. A bit of a nuttiness, more of an almond type of flavor than it is just like a peanut. This is more of an almond type of note. Kind of interesting. Yeah, a little dry, a little leathery. I guess I want it with the dryness that's there. That's when, for me, the oak really starts to kind of come out. Those two go hand in hand for me. Usually when something is a bit dry, it's a little bit heavier on the oak. There's still a little bit of that sweetness, but as the finish begins to develop, it starts to dry out a little bit more, and then you end up with more of the oak with a little bit of that kind of cherry chocolate sweetness. So it's kind of an interesting finish for it being relatively young or aged for a short period of time. It's fairly complex, I would say, more than I was actually expecting. So yeah, really interesting profile to that. Again, finish probably more on the medium side, but really, yeah, that nice kind of oak, that cherry chocolate kind of mixture balance is there on the finish. Really interesting finish to that. This is something I think would actually make a really interesting cocktail as well. There's enough there, proof-wise, some good flavor to it. I think it would do really well in like an old-fashioned or maybe even a Manhattan, something along those lines. So, but as far as just sipping on it neat, I would have no problem with that whatsoever. Maybe you could add a little bit of water. Not something I typically do with my bourbon. I taste everything neat and try to just give you more of a flavor profile based on it being neat right from the bottle versus adding water and then trying to see if that changes the flavor profile. But for me, I think they've done a really nice job. And again, MSRP on this is $28 for the 375s. This is all they're producing their corn whiskey and their puppy bourbon in at this time. I don't know if they plan on doing anything else beyond that or not, but really nice job. I think they've done a fantastic job with this, especially being as young as it is. So really nice job with that. So with that being said, so leave some comments, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, all of that. I love the interaction part of all of this. So I appreciate all the support. So again, linked in the description below, I'll have all of the information for this. If you want to support the channel, I'm going to be doing some more stuff with my Patreon page where I'll have more of a giveaway type of thing or more tiers, so to speak, where you can get t-shirts, glasses, things along those lines. So, give that a look. And if that's something you want to help support the channel with, I greatly appreciate it. So like I say, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.